Hey everyone, Scottish Sim Guy here. Welcome back to the channel. So now I've got a new video out for you now. This will be a farm build tour. So I've decided to do another farm build, my speciality. Unfortunately, way too much going on to actually record the actual build. So the build is finished. Just going to give you a little tour of the farm, the layout of it, show you what I've put into it. So we've built it on field 25. So field 25 is just up around here. I am maybe thinking of doing a little time-lapse series on this rather than a let's play. I'll do a little time-lapse series on this, but whether that's I get the time or not, we'll see. But I just decided I wanted to do another little build. So up here, field 25, this is field 25 in here, and one of the reasons why I kind of chose this end of the map for the last couple of builds is the size of the fields. So if we jump on to our map, you know, big sized fields, that was one field, that was one field, because what I wanted to do was build a farm and basically downsize the field size, make them a bit smaller, not too big. So that's what I decided to do. So the farm is built on field 25. We also have field 23 here, split up into different fields. So we've got a few fields in total. So this is one of the main reasons. So I wanted to make it a bit different as well. So I've built the farm away from the house. Kind of put a couple of little houses in here. The old shed, obviously you'll recognise that from the entrance into this field 25. Just put another bits and bobs, plenty of decorations round about it, dry stone dyke there, and yeah, just something a little bit different. So you need to drive through the area where the houses are, and you're just thinking, kind of back in the day, lots of farms had a lot more than one house. You had a lot of workers on a farm back then. So one of the reasons to put a couple of these houses in, to basically be original from maybe what the farm once was back in the day. But as you'll see, it's quite a modern farm that I've decided to build. You come down this track, the track runs away to the end. I want to try and make it kind of tight, but not too tight. So here we've got kind of silage clamping that in there, so you've got an area to go through here. But we'll take you in through what would be basically the main entrance into the farm. So this would be the main entrance in here, turning round and into the farm. So on the left hand side, and I'll put a link up to all the mods that I've used, all the sheds and things like that. So kind of straw and hay shed there, with a little silo there for basically mineral feeding and stuff. So that's that in there. A kind of little pole shed here, fertiliser and seeds and things like that there. Ahead of us, cattle shed. So this is a dairy farm slash arable farm. So that's the main dairy cows in that shed there. We've got an old silo and our diesel tank there. And then we've got a grain shed that's been used for machinery. So kind of all the silage kind of stuff is in there. Was maybe planning, I've not maybe done it, but was maybe going to put a set of gates across there, but I decided not to. I was planning on it. So silage clamp is in there, and then we have cattle in there. So they were calves and they're kind of grown up a bit now. So the kind of plan is to keep rotating. We'll maybe keep some, but we'll maybe just sell them once they get to a certain age, once I'm needing the room for when the main cows start calving. So down here we've got another shed in here. We've running a couple of fence, so we've got a 926 older style fence, we've got a 718 Gen 6 there. We've got an area to basically as our workshop, so we've got our barrels of oil and all that sitting there in the rack, and an area to service machines. In here we've got our dung midden, so that is basically serving the main cow barn there, and that cow shed just to my right, and that one over there to the left. So that's service. Basically, all the dung from those 3 sheds is managing to go into that one there. We've got just at that container there, we have our pressure washer and things like that there. Set of gates on it that can be closed, and then decided that I got a silo here and I didn't want it just sitting there. I wanted it, and I wanted something a bit different. It was just that area there was a bit bare and a bit open. I'm like, what can I do? So I put a couple of walls in and decided to make it a little area where what you would do is like bring the cattle float up there, and that's how you get them in and out there. So that's what we decided to do. Down here we've got our liquid fertilizer stores, and we've got our Farmsilo with the sprayer pack on it there. So that's what our main sprayer tractor there. That's all it does. That'll just stay on it. We've got our main grain shed here, and we've got our Bailey silage grain trailer, and we've got our Bailey liquid fertilizer tank there. So it'll sit at the side of the field, save the tractor coming backwards and forwards. Down here we've got our younger calves in here. I've decided that I'm not taking any dung or that from them. One of the main reasons why I did actually manage to get a lovely wee dung heap to sit right in the kind of spare area there inside the shed, but then what it started doing was pulling dung off of the main cattle shed, and it wasn't a big capacity, the little one that I put in there, so it was kind of taken away from the other one and putting it in there, and it was just going to overflow all the time. So I'll just not bother with that shed, and I've just have it that slurry comes out of that rather than any dung. Around here we've got our pit for tipping our grain into, and then we have an old kind of bale barn there that we've got our header for our combine, and then we've got our square baler there, just our old John Deere square baler. And I could have bought a new one, but I thought I'd go a wee bit old school and buy an older one. Does the same job as the newer ones, and it's like a portion of the price. I've got a combine and a cultivator and a seeder and planter in there, and then that's basically kind of round the farm there. And then we'll go up out the back of the silage pit up here, and we've got a kind of area where we just kind of got ploughs and bits and bobs. You know, you'll always have a farm that's got kit sitting outside if not everything goes in the sheds, and they've always got a bit of rubbish or that lying about it and stuff. So that's what I decided to do, show that, and then we will just nip out through this way and go down here. So this kind of track runs all the way to the bottom of the field. It was field 25, so we've got basically a slurry tower there and a slurry tanker there, and we've got a gate here that we can basically open up so we can do a loop with the grain as we're bringing it into the silos. Do have obviously some sheep, so down here is a sheep barn that they'll come into to lamb. So down here I've got a dung midden as well, so when we muck out sheds or that, rather than put it in that dung midden up there, we can bring it down here. It gives us somewhere else to store it. There's a dung spreader, and we've got some silage bales round the side here. This is a stack yard for the silage bales, and we've got a square bale trailer there. So basically kind of that is it. Majority of kind of, if you look on the map, we've got three fields down here that are grass, and this one up here, that one's a sheep pasture, and then we've got another 2 that's grass here. These 2 are oilseed rape, these 2 are wheat, and then that one is linseed, and that's all the fields that we own. So yeah, so we've got a couple of fields, you know, that'll keep the farm going. area to expand and buy more fields if needs be. But yeah, just I really enjoyed this build. I would maybe put it up there with one of my favourites, maybe even one of my best builds that I've done. Um, it's just got a really good feel about it, UK feel. Bits of the farm that are open, but like so this bit in here, it is quite tight, and then like you're not far to go, and you've got a kind of tight area to come round and go into the silage pit. Can I put a gate there to go out? Ideally, I mean, maybe what I should have done is not put that and ran the fence down, so you basically had to turn yourself round, reverse in, because not every farm you go to is got a decent area to get into the pit. And I kind of, believe it or not, was watching a grassman video the other day, and it was doing silage somewhere in the pit. Basically, the area coming down through the farm was a shed either side with just basically the, no more than the width of a tractor to get through with the trailer to go to the pit. The pit was kind of, half of it was open, half of it was behind a shed, so you had a bit of farting about to try and get into it, and I just thought, you know what, that looks really good. Bit tight, basically what UK farms are. So as you kind of see at the start of this farm, as you get into this, the front of it, it is quite tight, confined, and as you kind of get round to this side, it kind of opens up a little bit. But I think the layout and how I've managed to get it done and what I've done just to add things in to just kind of take up the space, I think I've managed to do it quite well. So what I'll do is I'll actually jump onto construction mode, and I'll just kind of jump up above it, guys, and kind of show you a view from above, show you what it's like. So I'll head down here to the start down here, so that's obviously the sheep pasture in there. Can always come and take a cut of silage off that if it needs be. So we've got silage field on the right, and then it's a oilseed rape field here. So you kind of got an entrance there that you could come into the field, but that takes you into the field there, and you've got the road up through there. So then we've got two oilseed rape fields, and then everything up here, that's all grass in there. So we've also got an entrance to that field there. The main entrance is up here off the sheep shed, and then there's an entrance through there. So basically that field, that gate would be shut there. That gate would be shut there. You could have some cattle in here, which I think will do. And then if you were in this field, you can nip through to go into that field, or vice versa, rather than coming through where the sheep are. There's an entrance from this field into that one, because a lot of British farms are like this. You go through one field to go into another, and then it's open from here on in, so there's no fence, it's just hedges where we kind of track into there. So basically, if this was not grass and it was a crop, you could run through from the header from one field into the other without taking the header off. Worked in many a farm like that. And yeah, a little track out the back there to get into this field there. And then I'd built all this, and I was like, I'm going to get a wee bit more ground. So then I took on this field and then split it up. Excuse me. Split it up into kind of smaller fields. So these three are crops, and then those two here are grass, and then made the entrance for this field through the trees there. And it's something just a little bit different rather than just coming in normally. I try to break up some of the fields and that with a few trees and this hedges and things. So yeah, I don't think I've done a bad job, in all honesty. Quite enjoyed it, I do say so myself. So as I say, I might do a time lapse series. So the series would be just doing a good bit of work on it, but just all in time lapse, rather than kind of a let's play. But yeah, the farm turned out pretty good. Probably better than what I expected. And as I always say, when I do go into a farm build, the main things I look at are the area where I'm going to build. After that, it's just start putting things down and There's no kind of plan or preparation put into place apart from trying to find a decent place to actually build it. Once I've done that, then it's just start placing buildings down, get the farm all built, and then it's just starting to lay down decorations as you see. And you know, without decorations, I think, you know, we are kind of poor on decorations compared to 22. There could be a lot more variety and a lot more things, but the decorations end up being what makes it. You know, no farm is sitting just all nice and clean and nothing lying about. There's always rubbish and things lying about, so decorations are 100% what actually makes it. So that's basically the little tour of this farm build, guys. Hope you have enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you do want to support the channel in any way, you can support me on Ko-fi, you can join my Discord, link is in the description and in my bio. But apart from that, guys, thank you very much for watching this latest farm build from me, the Scottish Sim Guy. Really do appreciate it. All the likes and subscriptions, it is very much appreciated. But other than that, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one. Right, guys, I did say that I was going to disappear, but I actually thought, right, I kind of gave you a little tour in the car, so I just actually thought I would come out and just jump about and be able to show you a bit more closer detail, in all honesty, as well, and what I've actually done. Kind of walking about kind of gives you a better view and gives you a wee bit more in depth and kind of shows you exactly the work that's went into building it. So yeah, so kind of a couple of cars placed down and made this shed just look like old scrap lying about, in all honesty, because that's basically what it is. Bit of scrap getting accumulated in there, and then yeah, little track down in here as you've seen. So I'll go through the sheds and kind of maybe just show you the kit that's in the sheds as well, because I've not done that. So we've got the old 515. So I wanted to kind of go old school Fendt, but I have maybe one kind of newer tractor, so that's why I went for the 718, and I'm running a 926. Used to run one of them on a farm that I worked on 20 odd years ago. That was our big main tractor. It pulled a 6 metre Vaderstad drill. So yeah, so 515 on the feeder wagon, and here all the silage kit, as I said. So Coon butterflies, Coon square raptor, we've got the class Jaguar 870 there with the maze head on it and a direct disc. If I do a bit of silage, I might do it that way with the direct disc, with the worker using GPS and me in the trailer. And then we've got our Coon merger there, Bailey silage trailer, and the Coon tedder there for scattering to make some hay. And then up here we have the 926 sitting with the Bredel lime spreader on. That was a favourite tractor of mine. That was an absolute beast of a tractor. The one that we had at the farm that I worked at, we used to have a spare set of tyres on it, so it was full flotations all round. 800s for pulling the 6 metre Vaderstad cedar, just solely for less compaction. And then we put normal tyres on it for doing anything else. 718 there. So that'll do a good majority of the work on this farm. Dung spreading, slurry spreading, carton bales and stuff. So this one will just be used mostly for doing a lot of cultivating and sowing. So yeah, you've seen in there dung midden and things there. Workshop. And then down here is the Xylon. So there we go. that'll basically just do all of our fertiliser needs spraying. We do have obviously a fertiliser spreader for doing some dry stuff, but we'll try and do majority of stuff with on crops anyway. With that, and then we've got our Class Lexian combine, we've got a cultivator, and we've got our seeder, and we've got a planter there, and then there's a couple of bits and bobs sitting about. So yeah, and then small cattle shed here. There are smaller calves as you've seen, and then yeah, this all up here. Just there's usually on my tours I'd always do a tour in the car and then I get out and do the walk round as well, so you can kind of see a bit more. You're lower down, you're a bit slower, so you can see the detail and the things that's went into trying to make it look how a farm should. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's basically, all this little stuff lying about here makes a big difference to me when building a farm. Putting just decorations just make it. Like if that was nothing there, that just wouldn't look. But there's this little bit of stuff lying about, a little bit of grass round poles. It just, that's where you can build a farm and it looks great and it's bare. You've got concrete and it's just everything's squared off, and I don't like that. So I like to spend my time, and so you see if I jump up onto construction, like that's kind of parallel going down there, and they're kind of parallel going that way. So it kind of, they're not all square to each other, if you know what I mean. A lot of people want to come in and build off the squareness or something, but I came in and started building off that, which wasn't the square at all. So I was building off the edge of the road, the field, and then as I came in here, I kind of turned them to then create this area here to be a lot smaller and tighter. So yeah, it's it's worked out really, really well. I'm really looking forward to actually doing a time lapse series on it, in all honesty. And I'll keep that going alongside my Wood End Farm Let's Play series. And then probably what'll happen in November when the Scottish map comes out is I'll just be jumping ship straight onto that, because I really want to do that map. I know in my one last video it's kind of said about, oh, I'm not sure about the fishing and that, kind of looking more into it. You don't need to do that. It looks a good map as well, and more will come out. So, and I'm liking the fact that bunning are in it. I've always wanted a bunning dung spreader for ages. We're going to have an old fast track in it, and which looks like we've got the MB track, the Mercedes in it, which will do great, because the MB track that is out on the mod hub now, you've got to use it, and I've not used it, but I know in 22 it was just unstable. Every trailer it had on it would swing round the side of you, and you couldn't get top speed out of it. You had to have it in manual gearing to get top speed out it. So looking forward to Mercedes coming, and that will obviously be marked up as Mercedes and not Lizard, so that makes a big difference. So yeah, that is it this time, guys. Thank you very much for watching the video, and we'll catch you on the next one.